I know what you're asking yourself. It's not Wednesday. Why are we talking NXT and Impact? Well, if you haven't noticed, this past weekend is going to roll into this week, and we've had a lot of scheduling conflicts. Number one, the Gaming with Ash video had to be postponed because of some content issues. And basically when I say that, I mean Ashley added some more to it, so that's the reason why it came out yesterday. Thus putting the very epic versus battle between Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns against Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy a day early, and putting it on Saturday instead of Sunday. Now, this being Monday, normally this would be one of those days that we would have something completely different. And then, of course, tonight is our WWE Raw Popcast, 11:30 p.m., Aaron, Ashley, and myself talking Raw. Obviously, that is the normalcy here on Pop. And that video will be available live tonight if you want to watch, and then the archive will be available tomorrow on Tuesday. Now, also, this week allows for my 3-day straight of work to make Sip and Snack a Wednesday occurrence. Why is Sip and Snack a Wednesday occurrence? Because since Slammiversary is going to be this Sunday, we have a live Impact, and Ashley said if we have a live Impact, we're going to do a podcast. So we're going to have an Impact Wrestling podcast this Wednesday night at 11 p.m. with Aaron, Ashley, and myself. And we're going to be thus more doing a Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2015 podcast shortly after the pay-per-view concludes on Sunday. It'll probably be about 35 minutes to an hour later, but that's only because of time frame. We'll see what happens with that. Or maybe Aaron will not join us right away, and he'll come in later on in the video, and it'll just be Ashley and myself talking, and then Aaron can give the live event perspective. That may be a possibility. So, let's talk about what's going on this week. We're going to start off with NXT. Alright, as always here on the normal Wednesday video, it is now going to be the Monday video. Now don't worry, after this week is over, I think everything should be normal. Like Friday will be AJ's movie reviews, and Saturday will be Gaming with Ash, Sunday will be Versus, Monday, like I said, question mark what it's going to end up being. And don't forget, we also have a quick programming note that we are going to be very soon filming the first of our 3 half-year videos. The 2 half-year videos. The first one being the worst of the half-year, and that's going to be coming at you next week. And the week after, we're going to be bringing you our best of the half-year, and our final video is going to be the most anticipated for the remainder of 2015. That's what we've got coming at you. But let's talk NXT, shall we? NXT starts off with a match that I've been predicting for months. That would end up being Big Cass and Enzo Amore teaming up with Blue Pants against Blake and Murphy and the newly heel-turned Carmella. Now, that didn't end up happening. They decided they wanted to flip the script. They wanted to change it completely and turn the hot Alexa Bliss into the heel and put her with Blake and Murphy, keep Carmella babyface, and keep Blue Pants completely out of this program. I would have went with the other direction, but it's not me booking. But this still allows for Carmella to realize that she's actually gotten a lot more popular. She was really disliked at the beginning, but now she seems to be, like, slowly growing on the fans. I'm not quite there, but the Bill and Ted references from her, the double Bill and Ted reference whenever she comes out, yeah, it's kind of endearing her to me just a little bit. So, before the show starts right away, there's a really awesome Dusty tribute. And that's obviously going to be our first of 2 Dusty tributes that are going to be covered on this video. Carmella comes out to the ring with a white fur around her neck, and it's time for Sing Along with Zoe, as I like to call it. And he says, I'm Smack Talker Skywalker. This is the OG Cass Kenobi and Princess Mela, and handle my lightweights. Obviously, he's talking to Carmella. And she says, you 2 sweet boys think you're charming. You're nothing but a bunch of cheating pigs. You use a chick to handle your dirty work. Pathetic. Little Miss Alexa Bliss, you're about to get dissed, disfigured, and dismissed. Bye, Felicia. Actually, great promo from Carmella. It works really well to her gimmick, and it actually fit the situation she's involved in. So, obviously, Cass ends it with the spelling it out for us and saying that Blake and Murphy are nothing but SAWFT. Soft, and right as the FT comes out, Blake and Murphy's, like, horrible dubstep theme ends up cutting them off. They're clad in red and black this time around. Alexa looks gorgeous as a heel. I'll say that a billion times. She has that Emma thing going. Alexa Bliss and Emma have a really awesome, like, sultry heel look to them. I love both of them, obviously. So, right away the match starts. There is a battle with everybody involved. Katie barred the door. We've got ourselves a barn burner here right away. And Enzo and Cass double clothesline Blake and Murphy over the top to the floor. The faces clear the ring. And we come back commercial break. Enzo with the snap jabs, and he drops Blake with a right hand. Murphy comes in with a quick distraction. This allows Blake to nail Enzo from behind. Tags Murphy in, and he tosses Enzo into the corner. And Enzo inadvertently elbows Alexa Bliss. And she, like, holds her head the entire match. Obviously, it was an inadvertent thing. It didn't happen on purpose, but it worked because she sold the head. Because obviously, she got hit in the top of the head with the point of the elbow. That's going to hurt anybody. So, at this point, Blake and Murphy are working over Enzo, and eventually Murphy forearms Big Cass off the ring apron to keep him from interfering. Charges in and misses the spring there. Enzo sidesteps Wesley Blake and tag in, and both ladies are now legal. Carmella knocks Murphy off the ring apron, courtesy of an O'Connor roll on Alexa Bliss for a near fall. Tags in Blake, and Blake ends up getting Cass tossed in to the splash. Big boot on Murphy when Cass comes in like a house of fire. Side slam to Wesley Blake. Tags Enzo in. They hit the rocket launcher. 1, 2, 3. This match was short, straight to the point, worked really well, and it furthermore solidified the fact that we've got ourselves a rematch coming up in the near future between Blake and Murphy defending against Enzo and Cass. This program's fine. I have no problem with it. I think it's going to work quite well. Devin Taylor's in the back with Samoa Joe. He says he wants to be where the action is cutting edge. He's not intimidated one iota by Kevin Owens, and he calls it the NXT World Heavyweight Championship, which basically is what it is. There's a really incredible video package on Finn Balor. It focuses on Prince Fergal Devitt, and it basically talks about Becky Lynch being trained by Devitt, and it focuses on ICW and Revolution Pro in the UK, and there's even some New Japan stuff thrown in there as well. Some really great putover for Fergal Devitt, proving why he is challenging for the NXT Championship in Tokyo, Japan on July 4th, which I'm really looking forward to. So, yeah, this is a really good build for him, and really putting over the importance. I like the fact that he does the interview completely, like, in a suit, dressed to the nines. He's not in face paint, he's not in gear or anything. This is Fergal Devitt talking, and they put a little bit of emphasis on Becky Lynch. Now, I honestly think there is a possibility that this could lead to Becky Lynch being involved in this program somehow, some way. Now, granted, maybe teasing Kevin Owens trying to give the apron bomb to Becky Lynch, and Devitt makes the save, and obviously this is now even more personal than just being about the NXT Championship. I think that's a direction we may end up going, but we have another week to get us there, and it's anyone's guess if we're going to go that direction or not. Charlotte's in action next against the former Casey Cassidy, which she's now called Cassie. Obviously, Cassie has already debuted. She lost to Sasha Banks. She's another Australian, kind of like Jessie McKay, who also lost to Charlotte. So basically, Charlotte's been facing off against the new Australian women's division members. This match was decent for a short match, and Cassie goes for the wheel kick in the corner. She ends up getting her offense cut off. Charlotte ducks the round kick. Really awkward cross body from Cassie. And the spear, the kip up, the figure 8, and this allows for Cassie to tap out. Charlotte wins rather quickly. We get a promo afterwards from Dana Brooke. She says, might as well call her Misunderstood, call her Ms. Brooke. She basically wants to replace Charlotte, and this feud is continuing between Charlotte and Dana Brooke, and I think that that's the direction we're going to head, and unfortunately, I think the direction here is before Charlotte gets brought up to the main roster, she puts Dana Brooke over. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. And maybe sending Dana Brooke after Sasha Banks in the NXT Women's Championship. Now, the problem with this is I don't think that, obviously, Dana Brooke is ready for this. Now, the promo is a little bit better, but she's still really wooden in the ring, very green. She's obviously greener than my iPhone. So the thing is, it's just, they're seeing something in Dana Brooke I don't see, but then again, it took me a bit to get into Charlotte too, so maybe, just maybe, lightning will strike twice. I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later. And then we get our main event, and oh my god, this is a match that I've been wanting to see for a long time. NXT Champion Kevin Owens against the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. This match was just enough to whet your appetite. Not necessarily the main course. This was a little bit of a teaser of what's going to come in the near future. And I think very near future, given the fact that Owens is being solidified as a main roster member sooner rather than later. I think probably at this rate by SummerSlam, if not before that. So the match starts out the way that normal Kevin Owens matches start out, but with an added twist. The second that the bell rings, Owens hits the floor. Joe actually follows him out and stares him down. So they both roll back in the ring. So that's how we start off the match. Owens with the charging clothesline in the corner, and Joe follows up with the back elbow and the back enziguri kick, and he hits the Otani boot scrapes in the corner and runs off, hits the face wash. Owens powders to the floor, smartly breaking up any momentum that Joe has. So we come back from commercial break, and a whip in is reversed. He charges in. Joe misses the back avalanche. Owens hits the cannonball for a near fall after the leaping back senton, so turnabout is fair play, obviously. He's going to hit it later on in the match anyway. So he locks on a chin lock. Joe elbows out, comes off the ropes, and Owens nails him with a back elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. Locks on a chin lock, and it's the little things sometimes. He locks on the chin lock again, and he yells out Chinlock City, getting the fans to chant Chinlock City, and building more to the belief that the rumor is going to come true, and Kevin Owens, not only on a collision course with John Cena at Battleground and probably SummerSlam, actually, maybe not SummerSlam, but they may blow it off at Battleground. I think there's a really, really good possibility we get a potential Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam. And yes, please, I'm totally down with that. And given the fact that he used the words Chinlock City is a shot in Brock's direction. So I think that that's, like I said, just the little things sometimes mean the very, very most. So Joe elbows out, he hits the snap jabs, comes off the ropes. Owens cuts him off with a knee lift, and he yells out, "This is my house," and of course he gets caught with the inverted atomic drop and the Yakuza kick, back senton, and when he gets back up, the snap jabs, comes off the rope, stucks the clothesline, Joe with a leg lariat, 1-2, and Owens kicks out. So he chops away in the corner, puts Owens on the buckle, setting up for the muscle buster, and Owens headbutts out, and basically a straight right hand. Owens charges in, eats the ST Joe, and Owens powders to the floor to break up momentum again. At this point, Joe comes out to confront him. Owens tosses him shoulder first into the ring post. This allows for the apron bomb to be set up, but Joe's not going anywhere, and Joe basically slips out, and they start brawling. They sandwich the ref. He calls for a double DQ, and they start fighting up the ramp, and basically, at this point, the referees come out to break it up. Owens and Joe are separated by security in the ring when they get back in the ring. And they start hitting each other again, and they start brawling again, and they get pulled apart, and they go at it again, they get pulled apart, they go at it again. The fans obviously want to see this continue, and it's not going to, because that's not going to work at this point. Joe nails Owens, they start trading punches. Owens finally bombs out, and he decks 2 security guards on the way out, and he yells out, "The champ is here," with Samoa Joe standing bewildered in the center of the ring, preparing for yet another fight. I liked this show. The show worked really well. A lot happened in an hour. It really did, honestly. Match-wise, the 6-person tag match was decent for what it was. Charlotte and Cassie was a good, short little, appetite builder, basically. And Owens and Joe, this is only 3 matches on this show, but Owens and Joe, like I said, it whet the appetite. It's not exactly delivering the dessert that we wanted all along. I'm pretty sure that's coming up sooner rather than later. And now Owens moves on to Finn Balor July 4th in Tokyo, Japan. And based upon the tapings, it sounds like there's a good chance that Joe can retain, but I don't know. It just kind of, Joe could retain, that Owens could retain. It just kind of depends at this point. It's anyone's guess. I think that we got a lot to look forward to, and NXT is going to be great in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll probably get a finalization of the card for Tokyo for July 4th. Tonight on Raw, if I had to guess. I have a feeling they have to, because there's no other way to do it, unless they throw it out on SmackDown. because they could do it this week or next week. They're going to have to finalize both this, and they're going to have to start finalizing Battleground. So that needs to happen like now, because obviously this is the road to July 4th in Tokyo, and also the road to SummerSlam, which has that little bump of Battleground in the middle. So yeah, NXT worked really well this week. I enjoyed myself. Good show. Check it out if you haven't yet. If you're not subscribed to the network, do subscribe if anything, just to watch NXT and old footage from the territories, from the old WWF and WCW and the NWA, ECW, World Class, Smoky Mountain. I mean, it's got like everything. So check that out if you're an old-time wrestling fan. Let's talk Impact. Obviously, we're on the road to Slammiversary. 2 weeks being the one I'm talking about now and the one that's going to be airing on Wednesday live. This is obviously the build to Slammiversary, which is this coming Sunday. There's a really awesome Dusty Rhodes tribute that starts off the show. It's done in black and white, a lot of black and white, old-timey footage, a lot of footage from Dusty worked with TNA, and it said, in memory of Virgil Runnels, 1945 to 2015, the American dream lives forever. So yes, we've given a lot of praise to Dusty Rhodes in the last week here on Pop, and we continue to do this forevermore. Dusty, you will forever be remembered, and your legacy will never die, without a doubt. So the show starts off with Mike Tenay in the ring. Oh, real quick, the Pope is commentator. I'd rather him wrestle, and I'd rather Mike Tenay be Josh Matthews' announce team partner. I think that works better. And the Pope, for some reason, he's like pulling like a weird like Booker T type of dichotomy. He basically has like a little Pope figure. Or maybe this is more like an odd to like Steve Mongo McMichael when he had like Pepe the Chihuahua. I mean, anything's possible. But yeah, I like Matthews and Tenay as a team. I think that works a lot better. I wish Taz could come back, but obviously he's not going to anytime soon. He's got his hands full with the human podcast machine right now. So yeah, kudos to Taz for doing well in his exit from Impact. Mike Tenay's in the ring, and of course this is our official contract signing. There's no table in the ring, no BS, nothing. It's basically just two men face to face, and Mike Tenay's got a microphone, and he's going to let them say what they've got to say. Right away, this is announced. Ethan Carter III has been undefeated for 598 days as of this taping, which means there are about 132 days until officially 2 years undefeated. EC3 and Tyrus come out. Kurt Angle comes out. And then EC3 cuts a really, really, really awesome promo. He says, ever since the first time I walked backwards down that ramp, it's true, I've been practicing and preparing for this moment. He calls Kurt Angle the greatest wrestler that ever lived. He's the best simply because he's beaten the best. And then he runs down the laundry list. And it's awesome the way he says it. You've beaten Heartbreak Kids, Texas Rattlesnakes, Cerebral Assassins, Electrifying Men, Next Big Things, Ayatollahs, Superstars who were rated R. You've beaten Dead Men and Immortals, and hell, beaten guys you can't even see. I like that. And obviously, there was one guy in the crowd who chanted Cena sucks there. So yeah, putting over the fact that Kurt Angle has beaten a very long list of very established superstars like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, and Edge, as well as The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and John Cena. You've beaten submission machines, phenomenal ones, charismatic enigmas, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, icons, Sting, and Kings of Mountains. Shout out to the Global Force Wrestling owner, Jeff Jarrett. But Kurt, what do all these men have in common? They've been beaten. I haven't. See, Kurt, you can't beat me. I am your reckoning, your end of days, your Beelzebub. I'm the end point of the timeline of your championship reign. See, that's more than a championship. It's a big, red, flaming torch that will be passed to me. He signs the contract. Angle retorts. And it was an awesome promo from EC3, by the way. This is the reason why everybody says that WWE missed the boat on him, and they truly did. Derek Bateman could have been so much more. Mike, how many of these have I been to? About 100? Well, why is that important? Well, because I've been here before. See, these big fights, they were made for Kurt Angle. You're a spoiled little brat, but you're very talented. You think you should be champion because you're undefeated? And I reference the undefeated streaks of Ludwig Borga and Tatanka, and we won't talk about Goldberg, obviously. That's another story altogether. You have no idea, kid. And the people you've beaten, Bully Ray, Mr. Anderson, Sting, and of course, EC3 has to remind him, I've beaten you. He's like, yeah, and me too. That was then, but this is now. You see, I'm healthy, 100%. And I believe that even today, I'm still the greatest wrestler alive. But what happens when you lose? And you will lose. You know, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Good luck, Ethan. He signs the contract. Mike Tenay makes it official, but tonight there's going to be a match that is set up. There's going to be tune-up matches the next couple weeks. By tune-up matches meaning the next couple weeks, I mean the show I'm talking about now and the show that's going to be airing on Wednesday. Live on Destination America. The tune-up match tonight is for Ethan Carter III. Kurt Angle picks the Destroyer Bobby Lashley. Good luck, my friend. Lashley comes out to stare down, and that's how we end. This program has worked wonders. And I love the way that we have circled around and circled around and circled around, but we still got back to the end game, which is Kurt Angle and Ethan Carter III. And I think that that's exactly the end game we should have had since day one. Now, not putting it on the pay-per-view, not exactly sure why they're not doing that. And doing it on a show that it will be taped, so it's not going to be a live show, which means people are going to find out real quick that we either have a new champion or Kurt Angle is still champion. If there's anyone's guess which direction we're going to go with this. Like I said, I have a feeling, and I've been saying this for years, EC3 is your next world champion, and he deserves to be. So we get the Wolves come out. They got new shirts, new gear. They sacrifice their bodies all across the world to be the best. And whomever holds the World Tag Team Championships, they're considered the best. They ran through everyone. Talk about going through people like going through the Dudleys and going through the Hardys, and obviously they've done TLC matches. But they got tricked last week. Dirty heels, it won't ever happen again. And Eddie's like, you know what? We're done waiting. Get out of here right now. We want a match. Let's do this. Let's do this match for right now. Here comes Bobby Roode. Conspicuous by his absence, Austin Aries isn't here. Why? Because he's at home. At home. Keep that in mind. Convalescing, and he's not cleared to wrestle because of the Match of the Year candidate last week he had with Kurt Angle. But the Dirty Heels are in charge here. Even though they're down 2-1. They're still in charge. Okay, wrestling logic. They choose when they want to wrestle and whom they want to wrestle. So Eddie Edwards makes a challenge. He wants Bobby Roode to face one of the Wolves one-on-one. Roode's like, nah, not interested. But he decides, you know what? How about this? How about a one-on-one match against one of the Wolves, and if I win, or when I win, I have to pick the stipulation of match 4. And Davey Richards goes off, he's like, dude, you know what? When it comes down to it, I want you in that ring. And Eddie's like, no, I'm the one that got hit with a chair in the back of the head, so I want retribution, I want revenge, and I want you, Bobby Roode, inside that ring right here, right now. We roll right into it. Bobby Roode, Eddie Edwards, winner picks the stipulation for match number 4, and that's, of course, going to be tonight on Impact Live, Destination America. So, Roode locks on a chin lock midway through, and Eddie punches his way out, headbutts his way out, and Roode front suplex, charging clothesline, whip in, and Eddie counters with a leg lariat. They start trading blows, trading forearms. Roode with a chop stops this dead in its tracks. Eddie hits 3 chops, sends Roode into the corner. Rapid fire chops, and Eddie whips in, countered in, going for the Roode bomb. Roode bomb countered off. Roode shoved into the turnbuckle, and he charges in. Roode makes him with the high back elbow. Roode gets on the second rope, and of course he gets high kicked for his troubles. Chin checker connects 1-2 and a kick out, so Eddie heads up top and howls. Of course, this allows for Roode to get his wits about him, and he moves out of the way. He doesn't crash and burn, does Eddie Edwards? No, he just kind of lands on his feet. And this allows for him to charge right into the double R spinebuster, 1-2, and a kick out. So Rude argues with Davey Richards, which allows for a chance to get him goaded into the ring by spitting at him. Davey takes the bait, and of course this allows for the distraction to happen to the referee. This allows Austin Aries, who was home, remember, coming out from the back with a steel chair, slides it into the ring. Eddie ducks the chair shot, and Davey takes the chair, and this allows for a roll up from behind from Eddie Edwards. 1, 2, 3. And it is official that Davey Richards says, this is it, this is over. Match number 4, Full Metal Mayhem. And that's going to happen tonight on Impact. Now, the fact that Jeff Hardy got seriously injured leading to this program was going to be the Wolves and the Hardys, and that's what they were building towards. When they inserted the Dirty Heels into this program, it makes sense that they're going to run with the same exact program style they were going to do in the first place with the Hardys. Hence the Full Metal Mayhem match, which makes perfect sense. And if you don't understand what a Full Metal Mayhem match, basically take a TLC match and add a different implements to it as well. Yeah, it's definitely going to be worth it. We had a promo on Bobby Lashley building up his importance. Obviously, Lashley, a former multiple-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, still needs to be built up a little bit, given the fact that he's facing off against EC3 tonight. So, I like this because obviously this sets up Full Metal Mayhem. Dirty Heels get their backs against the wall. They have to win. Aries and Rude have to win Wednesday night. There's no doubt about it. Or the series ends right away. And I'm guaranteeing if they do win, and when they do win, the best of 5 series will culminate in the match at Slammiversary this coming Sunday. Stipulation to be announced. I have a feeling they'll put a stip on it for the event. But Full Metal Mayhem probably should have been the final there. I think they'll do something different. Who knows? Maybe like the first ever, like, not first ever, but like maybe do like a scaffold tag team scaffold match. I know that's like craziness written all over it, but we'll see. Way too dangerous. As I cough on camera. Jeremy Borash was supposed to interview the person that Bram is going to be facing off tonight, one of the former Impact superstars, and Joseph Park shows up. Got his hair in a ponytail, he's got a 500 o'clock shadow, and basically says, you know, old Joseph Park fell in some hard times. Hey, that could be my name, my gimmick name. Hard Times, Joseph Park. And JB shuts him out. I was like, that's pretty terrible. He's like, yeah, well, okay. You know, I'm not the high-powered attorney that I used to be. I lost everything. I lost my law firm, Park and Park, and I lost my spot on the Impact Wrestling roster. I even lost my teeth. Don't know how an attorney can lose their teeth in a fight. I don't know. I guess you might just have to go to some sort of abyss or something to figure that answer out. We'll see. He's invested all his savings in Tout, and of course we know how that turned out, and he heard Bram starting to challenge former superstars. Obviously he faced off against Crimson last week. He's like, you know what, I saw this as an opportunity. I saw this as my chance to return to the Impact Wrestling roster, to get back in the spotlight, to be the guy on top. And JB's like, don't you mean top guy? And he's like, that too. Bram ends up getting the match. It's going to be Bram against Joseph Park. It's going to be up next. And when Bram is seen getting ready, he charges the cameraman, and he probably decked him. So we get Drew Galloway in the back, and he says, like, basically, like, don't believe anything you're hearing, and show your impact, #stand up. Obviously putting on the fact that a lot of people are pretty much saying that TNA right now is dead in the water, which I don't believe it is, but I've said that since day one, and I'm going to stick with Impact because I believe in Impact Wrestling. I know that's not a very favorable opinion, but I do. So we get Bram and Joseph Park. Basically, gets on the mic, does Joseph Park, coming out to his sweet, like, mashup of the, a complete ripoff of the LA Law and Law and Order theme, like, mixed together. More like LA Law, because it's got, like, the 80s style saxophone. So yeah, he gets on the mic, he says, you're big, you're mean, and you're nasty. Wasn't a giant called that before? Anyway, your actions are felonious, egregious, and he basically gets attacked from that. So, midway through the match, Bram misses the charge. Park starts punching away. Bram ends up hitting a clothesline, stops momentum, pounds away, gets a steel chair from outside of the ring. Bram gets double-legged, and Park starts pounding away, grabs the chair upside down, because obviously he's not a trained wrestler, because I get that gimmick. So he turns the chair right side up, and Bram ends up attacking before the chair shot can be completed. Bram grabs the Singapore cane and the table from underneath the ring, and sets up the table in the corner. Bram grabs the cane, and Park with a low blow, and who delivers more low blows than an attorney, even a former one. Kane shots to the chest and ribs of Bram by Park. Goozle going for the chokeslam, does connect 1-2, Bram kicks out. So Park sets up the table in the corner, and a whip in. He puts on the brakes, does Bram. Park charges in, eats the back elbow, ducks the clothesline, and Park gets speared to the table for the 3 count. So we're going to continue this, if you will. Rest in peace, Dusty. We're going to continue this program of Bram going after former superstars of Impact. I think this has actually got a really good, interesting program possibility if they want to go in that direction. Who knows who is possibly going to accept this challenge down the line. Furthermore, to build Bram and build his credibility as you push him towards the World Heavyweight Championship, which I'm pretty sure that's the direction we're going here. We get the gorgeous Taryn Terrell, and she's by herself, looking all sexified. I guess that's the word we're going to use for the dollhouse, sexified. Copyrights are owned, Disney. And he's like, I got a game. How about this? You want a title shot? You got to beat the dolls. You won't. But if you do, I'll give you both a shot at Slammiversary. If you don't, you get off my back and you never get another shot again while I'm champion. It's double or nothing. And then she giggles maniacally, and that's how we end this. Then we get a promo from somebody undefiable. Definitely a female, because there's like yellow, nail polish. Which I'm not sure where we're going with this. The world is burning. Time, seconds ticking by. Injustice must be extinguished. For the wicked, playtime is over. So we get a new knockout coming to the division to try to get rid of Taryn Terrell. This is interesting. I mean, a lot of people are just like, oh, it's just a return of Gale. No, I don't think so. I think this is someone different. I don't know exactly who it's going to be at this point. There's a lot of people, a lot of names on the indie rosters that would make a really welcome addition to Impact. But I think this is somebody big. I'm not exactly sure who it's going to be right now, but I think it's going to be someone big. We'll talk about this when we get more information. But obviously this leads to our Double or Nothing match. It is Jade and Marty Bell of the Dollhouse taking on Awesome Kong and Brooke. Now, I called the Lone Star Sweethearts gimmick for Brooke and Rebel, and Rebel got hurt, so now Brooke is teaming with Kong. This match was somewhat back and forth, and it ends up leading to a choke slam from Awesome Kong, tags Brooke in, and they hit the assisted Quebecer-style elbow. You remember when Jock and Pierre would do the assisted cannonball? Well, basically, it's an assisted elbow drop off the shoulders of Kong. So, yeah, that's that, and Taryn has to face both of them at Slammiversary. This was fine. It was an okay match for what it was. And they make further known that as of this taping, as of the day of last week's Impact, that Taryn Terrell is officially tied with Gail Kim, and now she's officially the longest reigning Knockouts champion in the history of the company. Keep that in mind. And I know everybody else should. So, obviously, because Eric Young decided he wanted to literally use Chris Melendez's leg against him at Hardcore War to get the win, we got this program. He calls Chris a nobody. He says he's on the top of the mountain when it comes to professional wrestling. He's world-class. He throws that word around again. And Melendez is like, you know what? I'm just going to beat you up next week, and I'm going to settle the score. And EY looks in his eyes, dead straight, serious, and says, you're done. So yeah, this is interesting. They're going to face off at on Impact tonight, so we'll see where we go with this. Jesse Goddard is now being called the Adonis. Maybe like a shout at the fact this is probably Chris Masters' gimmick that should have been the case, but no. He's Adonis for another promotion, and Jesse Goddard is the new Chris Masters, I guess you would say in this case. He's facing off against DJ Zema Ion. DJ Z attacks, and he hits a jawbreaker, and he goes for a nice leapfrog over the top into a springboard back elbow. He hits the snap Rana, but he gets caught, and one-arm buckle bomb after a power bomb out of the snap Rana. I would have went for the one-arm buckle bomb and finished it right there, but he hit the power bomb, the elbow face washes, then hit the one-arm buckle bomb, locked on the Adonis Crab, and DJ Z forced to give up. He gets on the mic, he says, I'm the man. The only time I felt like you people a loser was when I was a part of the bromance. See, I'm the reason we won. I'm the reason we were multiple-time tag team champions. Robbie E was busy with Brooke on The Amazing Race. DJ Z was DJing and dive bars. And what was I doing? I was out training, getting better every single night. And he grabbed DJ Z in a moment that is kind of reminiscent of interestingness. We'll put it that way. Grabs him by the throat. He's like, do you know what it feels like to be breathless? To be alone? To be a loser? And he goes for the gorilla press to the floor. But Robbie E hits the ring. And he takes out Jesse. And he tosses him out to the floor. And basically is like, come on, bro. Come at me. So we got the Battle of the Bromance coming up at Slammiversary this Sunday. I like this a lot. I think this match is going to be good. And I think it's two underutilized talents. I was never big on Jesse when he started out, but he's grown on me slowly but surely, and I've always been a fan of Robbie E. I was a fan of Robbie E when he was working in New York in the Indies. So yeah, and obviously I'm a big Becky Bayless fan, so that endeared me to the Robbie E character right away, and even when she walked out of Impact, I think that it still made me like Robbie E. I like the gimmick, I think it works really well, and I think this is actually going to be something really good. DJ Z will play a part of the finish in Sunday's match, mark my words. I honestly think what they should do is make DJ Z the referee on Impact tonight. I think that may be the direction we're headed. So after what happened last week, oh God, everyone knows how hard this program is to talk about. Yeah. Magnus comes out, he basically says, I'm going to start cracking heads left and right till James Storm shows up and faces me. Security comes out. Magnus threatens security. He gets on the mic and calls Dixie Carter out by name, Big John Gaburek, as well as Bob Ryder and TNA Wrestling. Listen, you won't get this show back until James Storm comes out. I will not forgive. I will not forget. I will not rest. Very familiar whistling comes out. Here comes James Storm. You tried to tell Mickey that I was the bad guy. You tried to tell the fans I was the bad guy. But you know what? You look more like the jealous guy. You smashed a guitar over my head to prove a point. Why? Because I gave Mickey more attention than you ever could. You hired a television camera to follow her around. You know, what you should be asking yourself is what she was doing when those cameras weren't around. And Magnus looks like he wants to break free at this point. See, be careful who watches your son. And he pushes out the baby carriage, which apparently has Donovan in it. I'd never touch a child, but I'm basically using the child as an insurance policy, so you don't do anything crazy. Just like Mickey, I gave her a chance. She turned down pledging to the revolution. She is a sorry excuse for a woman, and you guys belong together because you are a sorry excuse for a man. Magnus finally gets to Storm, decks him. He fights off security, and Storm ends up shoving the carriage off the stage. Magnus dives off in a rage and finds out that there is a fake baby doll inside. Magnus and Storm at Slammiversary. Now, I'm split on this. This is great program for these three. And with Mickey transitioning off the program, whether she returns or not, it's anyone's guess. This is now personal between Magnus and James. Obviously. And Storm made it even more personal by creating a charade that he was pushing the baby carriage of Magnus' son off the ramp. Obviously it wasn't. But it shows what depths of evil James Storm will go to get over on Magnus. This match, honestly, if built properly, I could see going to Bound for Glory. This match at Slammiversary on Sunday, it is just the beginning. I have a feeling this is going to be a long, drawn-out program. Then again, it could get blown off Slammiversary, and Magnus gets his win. Storm gets bloodied, sent out on a stretcher, and we don't see him for a bit. Anyone's guess will go that direction, but I do think Magnus will get comeuppance on James Storm in the end. But I don't think he wins right away. I think Storm actually possibly could win on Sunday. I think that makes more sense to have Magnus fight for the win. So we get our main event, Ethan Carter III against Bobby Lashley. This match was good for what it was as well. It gave it a little bit of time, even though it was only a little bit over 10 minutes. So Carter counters the legit Dominator, and Lashley with a clothesline, charges in with a shoulder in the corner. He chokes him away with his foot. Babyface? Question mark. He beels Carter out of the corner. Tyrus grabs the foot when he tries to charge for the murder death kill, and Carter nails him from behind. Suplexes block Lashley with a vertical suplex, and Carter goes to the floor to break up momentum. So Tyrus was with a quick distraction and a sliding drop kick, which looked awkward, and a really, really awkward drop kick off the ring apron where it's clear Lashley was way too close. And Carter realizes this. Lashley took a step back. The spot would have looked better, but he was way too close, and it just looked awkward. But I guess it was enough. Send him down to the floor. He hits a snap suplex on the ground. Carter rolls back into the ring, breaks the count, goes back in, tosses Lashley in for a near fall. Locks in a chin lock, and he elbows his way out, comes off the ropes, ducks the clothesline, high knee Triple H style 1-2, and a kick out. So Tyrus grabs a chair and gives it to Carter. Earl Hebner argues with him about the chair, takes the chair away, and this allows for Tyrus to lodge the chair in the corner. Whip in, he puts on the brakes, thus knocking the chair out of the corner. It happens sometimes. It just does. Live television. I mean, they could have edited it out, I guess, because it wasn't live television, but, I mean, yeah, they probably didn't think about that. Carter charges in, eats the back elbow, clothesline, an elbow, a whip in from Lashley, charges in with the clothesline. Torture rack is countered by Carter, and he gets caught with the over-the-shoulder Dominator power slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Charges in, eats the boot of Carter, and Carter charges in, eats the spine buster. Tyrus again puts the chair in the corner. He is bound determined to get that chair set in the corner. Lashley hits murder death kill, but EC3 sidestep. Lashley goes hard into the chair set up in the corner. Quick DDT, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the 1%er. Carter gets shoved off into Earl Hebner. Murder death kill connects, and there's no referee. Tyrus gets in the ring, drops the elbow on Lashley, pulls Carter on top, no referee. Brian Hebner runs out. 1-2, Lashley kicks out. So Tyrus decks Hebner. Tyrus hits the big ending, rolls Carter on top. Here comes Stifler out to make the count. 1-2, Lashley still kicks out. Tyrus nails Stifler. Tyrus charges in with the avalanche, and Lashley ends up dimming his running lights with a murder death kill. EC3 hits the chair shot to the back of the head, and 1%er connects. Earl slowly makes the very familiar count, 1, 2, and 3. Ethan Carter III still undefeated, moving on to face off against Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on July 9th. Yeah, it's weird because they're actually doing yet another edition of the Bell to Bell show, and that's going to be on July 9th. And it's going to be the final battle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship we've been building to for a year. Kurt Angle, Ethan Carter III, and there must be a winner. Now, we've got Impact tonight. I like this matchup. This match worked really well. Really good. Obviously, Carter didn't need to win clean. Made no sense for him to win clean. He beat Lashley. The only way to beat Lashley was due to nefarious tactics and the help of Tyrus, who Pope called the Mad Dinosaur. Okay, we'll stick with that. So, what do we got coming up? Impact this week, as in 2 days from now. Impact this week, we've got match number 4, Full Metal Mayhem, TNA World Tag Team Championship, still hanging in the balance. The Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards against the Dirty Heels, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. We're also going to see the battle between the former Beautiful People, Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, one more time. Kurt Angle faces off against Ethan Carter III's hand-picked opponent, which could be someone from the roster, could be someone from the past of the roster, could be someone new that's brought in by EC3, could be Tyrus, could be Lashley, could be anyone's guess who this possibly could end up being. And that hand-picked opponent will face off against Kurt Angle on Impact in 2 days. The finals of the X Division Championship tournament will be decided between Low Key representing the Beatdown Clan, Tigre Uno, and Grado. You're also going to see Eric Young and Chris Melendez, and that's going to be on Impact in 2 days. Slammiversary, on the other hand, we got different things going on. We got the Battle of the Bromans, Robbie E against Jesse Goddard, the Adonis. We also got Taryn Terrell forced to defend the TNA Knockouts Championship against both Brooke and Awesome Kong. We've also got match 5, provided there is a match 5, between the Wolves and the Dirty Heels to determine who the final TNA World Tag Team Champions are. Not the final, like, overall, but once and for all, who the new TNA World Tag Team new TNA World Tag Team Championship team truly are. Lashley is thrown into King of the Mountain, which King of the Mountain sees his return after a 9-year absence. If you're unaware about King of the Mountain, here's how it works. You have 5 men, and there is kind of like a reverse ladder match with a penalty box. Stick with me if you're not know what I'm talking about. No one is eligible to win at the start. To become eligible to win, you have to pin your opponent. Once that opponent is pinned, they go into the penalty box for 2 minutes. And basically, once they're eligible, they have a chance to grab the championship or the championship opportunity, depending on what they're doing. They've only had 1 match where they didn't have an actual championship on the line until now. Obviously, this match was for an X Division title shot down the line. They put up a big red X. But, this time they're going to be putting up something. Maybe it's a contract, maybe it's a briefcase, it could be anything. But basically, Lashley will face off against 4 men, and the winner will get a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I'm sure that's going to happen, and we'll see what we have with this. Basically, you have to hang the contract or the championship up, and that's how you win the match. So, that works. And anybody can steal the title and try to hang it up. You have the officials have it at ringside, and they stay completely out of it. It's completely anything goes until someone hangs that championship, and then they win. It is King of the Mountain. It is Jeff Jarrett's stipulation match, I understand, but it's still going to be a fun night. And then James Storm and Magnus through the final, retribution match is going to happen. At least the first of many is going to happen Sunday at Slammiversary. What I recommend on the show. The opening promo with Kurt Angle and Ethan Carter III, brilliance. Absolute brilliance. Absolutely love this match. Between these two. They match minds very well. They match wrestling very well. I mean, I think it's actually going to be a really awesome match on Sunday. Bobby Roode and Eddie Edwards was really good. I really enjoyed that for what it was. Brandon Joseph Park was okay, and Jade and Marty against Kong and Brooke was okay. Jesse and DJZ was basically just to further the storyline. And the main event was good. EC3 and Lashley, yeah, check that out. It's definitely worth seeing. So that's what we've got for this week. That's what we've got for the start of wrestling on this week. Yeah, definitely not the only day we're going to be doing wrestling. WWE fans, join Ashley, myself, and Aaron, Mr. Entertainment, later tonight, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our WWE Raw Popcast. We're going to be talking about what's going on Raw tonight, and we're also going to be talking about the Road to Battleground, which is in 4 weeks in St. Louis, Missouri. On Tuesday, you'll get the archive of this video, the Raw Popcast. Wednesday will be your live TNA Impact Wrestling Popcast, talking about Impact Wrestling that was live on Destination America that night, and that archive will be up on Thursday. This also leads to a brand new Sip and Snack on Wednesday, AJ's movie reviews on Friday, Gaming with Ash on Saturday, and Versus on Sunday. Your cryptic comment is Spielberg. So that being said, that is just start of wrestling for this week, and definitely not the last minute, so don't worry. As always, there's going to be a timestamp for NXT and Impact too, so you can, if you're a TNA fan, you can go right to Impact, or if you are an NXT fan, you can, right after NXT's over, you can click off. I understand everybody doesn't watch both products, I totally get it, but I do, so that's what we've got. That's what we've got coming up this week. Obviously, we're still on the road to 100,000 views here on Pop. We're very, very close to getting it. Still don't have the subs, though, so please do subscribe if you like what you're seeing on this channel, whether it's wrestling content, Halloween Horror Nights content, theme park content, movie content, or anything in between. You can subscribe to this channel, and please do. While you're at it, also like our Facebook fan page. It's under Suro and Disney Pop, or search Suro and Disney and Pop if you want to look for it manually on Facebook. While you're at Facebook, go ahead and friend request me if you certainly would like to. It is Owen Disney. And also, you can tweet me at Suro and Disney. Last but certainly not least, want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions. Want to talk wrestling, Disney, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights, have trip questions for me. A lot of you out there have gotten back to that, so you're more than welcome to trip question me if you want to. And ask me personal questions I can't answer on here for good reason, or if you'd like to become a popcaster yourself, or last but not least, if you would like to have me as a part of your theme park or wrestling podcast. All this can be done via emailing me one quick email to suroanddisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And Impact fans, I will join you on Wednesday for the live podcast, 11 p.m. Me, Aaron, Ashley, all talking Impact. And then for Slammiversary on Sunday, it's going to be a little bit later than the actual pay-per-view because of Aaron has to get back from Universal for Slammiversary. And WWE fans, join us later tonight for Raw and the Raw Popcast, and that's going to be coming at you. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.